Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we just have a moment of silence too, please? Thank you. Oops.
I know, it was looking like I was going to sit on your lap.
They really have a lot to talk about then, wouldn't they? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. Use that term loosely, right? All right, we'll go to number one, the abstracts. I know everybody's had a chance. I hope everybody's had a chance to look at them over the weekend. If there are no questions, I'd like to have a motion to pass.
Make a motion, we accept them as presented.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. First, Chief, you're the first one up tonight. No, you lost. No time to get your story together. Don't do that. Just the truth, the whole truth.
Well, that's going to take a minute. Alrighty. A few things actually this month. I'd like to start out by thanking the Walton Fire District. They purchased $640 worth of AED batteries for us. So once again, the fire department and the fire district and the fire department come through big for us. So
Should we be sending them a letter of thanks?
What kind of battery?
AED.
AED.
Yeah.
They give me the information on that now. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Ready for the fair? As ready as we can be, I guess.
You mean your schedule is ready?
We're hoping. That depends on the guys and girl. We're preparing for, there's a rather large, and the more I talk to this gentleman, the larger I find out it is, demolition derby that's going to be going on September 3rd and 4th. It's called Kings of Old School Derby, and it's Labor Day weekend, and it's going to be a pretty sizable event. So we're speaking with him to try to make sure that we've got enough coverage to take care of all that.
No, he's paying for this
And
coverage.
he is paying everything that's extra to us, he'll be paying. He's full
For
agreement.
police.
Yep, for police.
Yeah, so
As
there's
far
no
as-
cost to the taxpayer for
None
this?
whatsoever.
Okay.
No. Unfortunately, our Ford went down again. This time it's fuel pump relay. Butch had it in and out of the shop within a day, and it was all covered under warranty. So again, Butch comes through. We've completed our firearms training with the exception of 2 officers, which are already scheduled to complete it within this month. The tasers that you authorized the purchase of arrived today, along with the associated equipment with them. I also just received the evaluations for the midterm on Freddie Babcock and Dominic Williams, and they're both doing really, really well. They're doing exceptional. So
Oh, this is from the academy?
from the academy, yep.
Good.
Good.
So they're halfway. Seems like forever. And the final thing I need to do is request permission for myself and Teresa to apply for a grant through the Community Foundation of South Central New York. It's a grant in the maximum amount of $15,000 that we'd like to try to use to upgrade our track systems within the vehicles.
I'll make the motion that we give the permission to the PD to do that.
Need a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yep, pink.
What's the turnaround time on that, Paul?
The application goes in September, and I'm not sure exactly.
I'm not sure how long it's going to take them to make a decision.
Pardon?
They didn't give us they didn't tell us
okay.
when the decision
Some
was
can
made,
be
but
quite
we
a
have
while.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
But we have
No,
to
they're
take
pretty,
what you guys
they're usually
give us.
pretty fast, I'm sorry. I was up at they had a class up at the Delhi College, I went there, and it seems like it might not be until December, but it wasn't a real long time.
Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
So I'd like to thank the mayor for finding it and Teresa for all the help getting it going, starting to organize it. So That's it for me, unless anybody has any questions.
What is the grant money gonna go toward?
It's a track system. It's the computer system that we are constantly battling with in the cars for issuing traffic summonses. It's also going to have an interface that'll help us, so we're not doing double the work, entering data when we make an arrest. Yeah, so,
Didn't you have something else?
yeah, executive.
Oh, executive, okay, yeah. I'll try your executive first.
Ready?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bill? Matt's not here tonight.
Is he okay?
Yeah.
Did he call you this time?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
He hadn't had any time off.
Hey, Bill. Yeah.
He hadn't had any time off in 10 months, I told him.
So everybody got a copy of our handout.
Yes, thank you.
Couple things to touch base on tonight. Regarding the biogas project, we do continue contract negotiations with Kraft and the industries up at Frazier's in town of Delhi. We've had a couple meetings with Saputo and Friesland Campina over the last month and continue to trade information back and forth with them. The next item on our agenda is related to the wastewater treatment plant, which John will touch base on as well. But we know we've had issues with non-compliance of the speedies permit over the last several months. Unfortunately, there's been turbidity violations that have gone back largely to the beginning of the year.
Can you explain to the public what the turbidity it means? 'Cause I'm not sure if everybody understands.
Turbidity is related to the clarity of the water. So, something that, a bottle of water you would buy or tap water or something that's, crystal clear is going to have a turbidity of, very close to zero. Cloudy water that's running down Westbrook right now because it rained today is going to have a very high turbidity. So as part of our speedies permit, we have a limit that regulates what the turbidity level can be, and we can't go over that. So times we do, it's continuously monitored. Any time that it exceeds that level, you're violating your speedies permit. So that's the violation that's been of concern, to DEC, and obviously to us in the village since it started. But DEC did come down this past month now, expressed concern, we'll say, with getting back into compliance. They want that done as soon as possible. We have been, the village and us and Cedarwood has been, going out and doing different testing in the collection system, kind of throwing a lot at this to try to get a handle on what's going on, what the cause is, and what the remedy is going to be. That was expressed to DEC, but at the end of the day, their guidance is, their requirement is you have to be, in compliance with permit. So if you're not in compliance with permit, they can take action against the village because ultimately the village is the permit holder for the speedies permit, which is the permit that allows us to, discharge the treated wastewater into the river. So. They can levy action against the village. We're trying to avoid that, obviously. We've been in constant communication with DEC, with the gentleman that was down here. They've written letters regarding the violations. We've written response letters back. This is our plan forward. This is what we've done to date. This is what we're trying to do. So we continue those communications, but at the end of the day, there is the potential for enforcement action from DEC that could be monetary fines and requirements to make modifications at the treatment plant or in the collection system that would cost money if they say you have to add this treatment process or add this tank or something along those lines. Those are items that potentially would cost money that the sewer fund would ultimately have to pay. So the team is working to get this resolved, but it is an issue. To that end, there has been, extensive testing in the system to try to identify what the cause of, the upset conditions is at the wastewater treatment plant. There's something that's coming in that we haven't been able to, specifically identify. And like I said, there's been testing done in response to DEC coming down. There was another round of letters that went out to industrial users. That's our kind of initial, not guess, but initial, go-to to have the potential impact on the wastewater treatment plant. Generally domestic, wastewater that, people and most businesses and stuff have for kitchens and bathrooms and whatnot. That's what the wastewater treatment plant is, set up to treat. When there's things that are, added to that waste stream that can be detrimental to the performance of the wastewater treatment plant, those are the items that we're trying to find. So our initial response is to go to people that aren't generating or may not generate, what we call domestic waste, kitchens and bathrooms and stuff like that, and go to the industrial users that we're aware of and reach out to them to identify, what sources of wastewater they have, in their facilities. We sent letters out, and the village, Steve and Dave Ullman from our office and Cedarwood had representatives go to 5 sites last week to do inspections, I should say, of the industrial users to try to identify what potential issues they may, what materials they may have on site, what waste streams they may be, discharging to the wastewater, to the collection system that are making their way to the sewer plant, the wastewater plant. The people, the users we met with were very involved in the process. Were working with us to try to get involved. So I think that was productive. The end result, there wasn't any, one specific red flag that, that tank is sitting there and that's definitely what shouldn't be going down the drain that is. Unfortunately, we didn't find that. There was some items, at different places that could have, impacts on the wastewater plant. If something went down the drain that maybe shouldn't, in such a volume. But there was no definitive, be all end all. That's the issue. Stop that. We're reviewing the data we got last week. We'll respond to DEC and say this is what we found. And we'll continue that effort. There's probably going to be more inspections conducted this week of those facilities and possibly others to get a better handle on what exactly is potentially going down the drain and do analysis to say what effect that can have on the wastewater treatment plant, so we can either make adjustments at the treatment plant to accept it, or work with the users to stop the dumping in that manner that may be going on. So that's the current status. Like I said, I know it's frustrating to the board and to everybody involved. We are working to get it resolved. So that's the current status. And we'll keep you apprised of obviously anything we find as we go forward. Hopefully on a better note on the next item, the Townsend Street slope project that was completed. The soil nails were installed. The guardrail set back where it needs to be and reinforced the last week of June. We received the invoice from Geostabilization International. They were the county bid contractor that did the soil nail installation. We received the invoice from them in the amount of $79,510. It's the same amount that the initial proposal was for, that the board authorized, I think it was in April. So we received an invoice for that amount. The work was completed, in accordance with, what they said they were going to do. We were on site, several times throughout. The village had, different involvement and did some test digs, and that we had, great help from the county and from the town to get that project wrapped up. So that's done. The village did some site restoration. If you happen to go up there, you'll see some green matting down on the portion of the slope that's exposed, that was disturbed. So that'll be to mitigate any future erosion. So that's up there. So
You need a motion for that, right?
I would ask for a motion to pay the bill for geostabilization.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That, once we pay that, we can show proof of payment to Senator Bonasek's office in Dasney and request the grant that he was able to secure for the village.
$50,000.
$50,000 towards the cost of this project. The last item on my agenda tonight is related to the Water Street floodplain restoration project. We are working with the village and the Flood Commission. We prepared a feasibility study to assist in the planning for the restoration project. The goal out there, as I'm sure everybody's aware of, and Steve can probably explain it better, but is to remove fill from the Water Street area to provide, storage for flood waters during, storm events. So right now there's a big pile of fill that's been, created over the last however many decades. The goal would be to remove, portions of that so we can lower flood elevations on Delaware Street. An issue with just going out there and starting digging is there's a number of pipes and utilities and different infrastructure throughout, the section that looks like it's all open and it's just weeds and stuff like that. There is a gas main, there's a sewer main, there's some drain piping that runs through there. So we did an analysis to identify what all those parts and pieces are, what it's going to cost to relocate them as part of the larger reclamation project. So the first phase is kind of largely the lot that the village owns that's undeveloped. Further out phases or the next lots going up that are owned by the town and county and the private retail space are potential future phases. So we talked about those in the study too. There's the gas main, different utilities that run through that area. So that's as part of the overall planning of the Water Street project. And the village had received a grant from CWC to pay for the cost of that feasibility study. So we're going to review it with the Flood Commission later this week.
Is that done? The study's done? Okay.
And use that as a tool going forward. So
Okay.
that's the last main item. We talked about the water grants. Those went in a few months ago. We're hoping this fall to get a yay or nay. Hopefully a yay on that. So
Anyone have any questions for Bill? If not, thank you, Bill.
hopefully answer most of them. Thank you.
John Moffett.
Bill covered everything, you don't need to.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could just, hand your paperwork in.
Hi.
You're less expensive if you go home now.
Very much so, yeah. So yeah, as Bill was saying, the turbidity concerns continue. They're becoming less frequent, but they're still continuing. We're still over our minutes. We were over a little over 10,000 minutes over. You were allowed 2,160 minutes over the 0.5. And as Bill was saying, a glass of water that you buy in the store, our discharge leaving is roughly that limit. So 0.5 turbidity. So we're in violation as soon as you can't tell the difference in the water. Essentially, we have reached as high as a 2.2 going out the back door. So the water looks a little bit cloudy, a little tinged, but still, it is a violation, as Bill says, even though all our other parameters are met, that's still, and if you were not in New York City's watershed, you would not have
We have
that
this problem right now.
parameter. So And that's just because we need to meet essentially drinking water turbidity standards to discharge into the river. One thing that is really good news, with the screw press in operation, we ran only 8 loads to the landfill, where we typically run anywhere from 16 to 18 out in a month's
They
time.
must be happy down there.
Yeah, and
What kind of a savings would that be? Is there any idea what?
I'm gonna go with half. Sorry.
Smart ass. I mean, like per load,
It's so much a ton.
you know,
it's by the
like how
ton.
much money, total money did we save? I know it's half. I'm just smart ass.
Well, you asked. I don't have the dollar amounts, probably Jody may have that for you, but,
We'll find out.
but we did run the belt press one time just to keep that operational. We may do that once every 2 to 3 months, just to make sure that equipment stays operational, but, so yeah, so that's a considerable savings in loading, and the dryness of the sludge, we went anywhere from 12 to 14%, we're pushing 19, 20% in solids going out the back door now, so that's fantastic. Sue McIntyre from the county is quite happy with it, so that's good news.
So are we done with that project now? Can we close it out?
Always pushing things. I think there's one more thing that we have to do.
Yeah, of course, there's always one more thing.
Oh, we have the air conditioner. I want to wait until that's installed for that control room because of the PLC. I know that will be installed shortly, and there's a pump that needs to be moved, but I'm not sure there'll be a cost on that. Now, before we shut that down, I don't want to put you in a bind by saying yes.
How about the MBT project?
MBT project on August 14th. They're going to bring the crane on site to lower the membranes into place, and then we just have to hook the pipe in and
Then we're done with that.
essentially.
Now, when that's up and running too, we're gonna even save more, correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, good. Appreciate it.
Okay, so for the stuff that Jody doesn't want to talk about, being with everything going on with the DEC, really watching what's going on site. And our biology, that's the other thing that I wanted to tell you, the biology at the plant looks fantastic. That's the scary part, And I think we took part of the issue earlier on. We had some chlorine coming in the door that we knew, and that was affecting our biomass. That's been taken care of. Some of the pH issues have been taken care of. So this last piece of the puzzle that is the one that's killing us, that we can't pinpoint exactly what it is. We have a general thought, but
Let me ask you, when the water gets cloudy again, how long does it, I think I may have asked you before, how long does it take that someone would put in that it would affect the turbidity?
We'll
Is it like
notice it-
within an hour, a couple hours? or-
we'll notice it in the clarifiers. And again, we're trying to backtrack. There's roughly 24 to 30 hours of travel time through the plant, if you will. So as soon as something enters, it takes 24 to 30 hours to go out the back door. So if it comes in the aeration basin, or the EQ tank aeration basin, if flows are low coming in the door, it could be 20 hours, 30 hours.
Okay.
And we'll notice it in the clarifier first, that'll change color. So that, to stay on that topic for just a second, might as well tell you a couple other things we're trying to do. We've asked the two chemical suppliers to come back in and do testing again. Not that they've been here, they've done it, but we want to stay on top of things with the DEC. And we've asked the lab to do, even though our sand filtration is tertiary treatment, we asked the lab to run some specific tests using the finest filter they have. And it's like a 0.45 micron filter. And they're going to run tests before and after. So if it carries through, the turbidity and the total dissolved solids carries through, then it's obviously something, doesn't matter what we do here, we can't filter it out, can't be removed. So we're just looking to see if that's a case. And then again, like Bill said, then we have to go back to whoever's discharging that into our system. So, but that's just one more aspect of more testing that we're doing, but hopefully those will get us to where we want to head, to satisfy the DEC and of course to meet our permit. So, all right, so back to our maintenance issues. We have a RAS pump down that we have. It's our backup, However, we sent it out to this equipment company, and they're going to start charging us for storage. So we have two options. Either we get it fixed, they'll ship it back to us for a cost of $500, and then they'll come pick it back up for another $500 to fix it eventually. So the bottom line is it's $13.32, of which the village will pay 80% of that. So I'd just like to recommend that we go ahead and let them fix this pump, because, again, it's costing us money having it sit on the floor. They're going to start charging us for storage.
If they're gonna fix it, why are they gonna send it back to us for 500 and then?
Well, right now, because we last board meeting, we decided to hold off on some of these items.
Oh,
Yep, and then they just, when we told them that we were going to wait like another month, they said, we're going to start billing you if it's here, so they said they'll send it back to us. So there's $1,000 just in that alone. And I think they said they were going to charge us $500 a month to have it sitting there. So we might as well just...
Sound like a business shop, yeah.
Store and pump, yeah. So we have that little item. We have the equalization pump for, and Dave Oman and I was discussing this today, and actually Bill was in with us. We have two pumps in service. We have one pump that's the spare pump, but our tolerances on those pumps have been slightly declining, wear and tear on the pumps, just in the environment they're in. So this company will come out, Flight themselves will come out for $1,240, inspect the pumps, let us know if they can adjust the tolerance, is great. If we need to get some parts, they'll do so. But again, we need to, the equalization basin, as you know, takes the peaks and valleys out of the plant, and what those pumps do is they send a set flow through the rest of the facility to keep things balanced out. And with us losing a bit of the volume, we're holding more fluid within the EQ tank, so it's giving us less space to play if something drastic happens. So, and then lastly is the Lamson blower. And it's a big item. It's roughly $14,000 to have it rebuilt. This thing they're 20 years old. They were put in 92, I believe, is when, Bill, that's when the original upgrade, right, 92? So, yeah, they've been good units. They've lasted a long time.
Is that all in the village, or?
That one is all in the village. And the tolerances, the problem is that these blowers, the tolerances on them are so minute that after a while they'll build up a little bit of rust on the outside, and it stops the fins. It's like a turbine engine,
Where are they located?
They're down in the blower building by the aeration basin. Yep.
Those real monster things?
Yes, yeah.
Interesting.
So the fact that they've done their job for that long a period of time, they actually, this one here seized up. We changed it with the one that we had as a spare, and that ran. The problem is, they said even just a little bit of moisture in there, as soon as you start to build rust up. The bearings are fine. We pulled the bearings out. They were there, looked at the bearings. It wasn't the bearings, it's an internal problem. So there again, God forbid we lose one of our blowers and Kraft goes into full production, or somebody hits us with something and we need air, we're going to be in violation. So I spoke with Dave Oman, and again, when we met with Bill today, and these are the three items we felt we really need to move ahead with.
Are any of these things budgeted for?
No. The RAS pump actually was, yes, but the blower, no, that just happened. There's money somewhat in the equipment fund of the budget, but right now,
Funds are low.
yeah, funds are low.
Very low. We need a motion then for that. We have to get it.
How much does that blower cost to be replaced?
About $68,000.
6-0?
68.
6-8.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Kick me out, Jody. Thank you. Yeah.
Don't go away mad, just go away. Steve?
It can't get anywhere.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, right?
Price tag, it gets easier.
I don't want to spend any money.
Well, good, you can sit then, you can stay for a while.
But we're gonna spend a lot of other people's money.
Yeah. You have my report. Any questions on that? Don't really have a whole bunch else to add other than I just want to say thank you. I think I saw most of these faces that I'm looking at on the 23rd at our flood event. I think that was a moderate success. We
I
had
was impressed. I was disappointed that there wasn't better attended, at least the hour and a half or so I was there, that it wasn't better attended. But really, it was sort of an impressive thing for the first time.
I've kind of become accustomed to any kind of a flood event. You keep your fingers crossed and hope people show up. I think it was a good turnout, all things considered. I think it was.
I know a couple people have said, they lived through it, they don't want to be reminded
Yeah,
about it, they're
yeah.
glad it's going on, but they just would not want to be part of it. It was
Yeah.
too close.
Yeah, and that's understandable.
Sure it is, yeah.
Absolutely. I did field quite a few flood questions that I would have otherwise not talked about on a Saturday, so that was good. And, we had something going on in the middle of the village for a day, which was, which was good as well.
Two things. I like that the sand model you did.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
And then it also just, not necessarily specific to the flood commission, but it really showed what that square can be used for. I mean, it has a lot of potential right
Yeah.
there. It's central, parking is good, it's
Yeah.
a green area.
Yep, and we need to start thinking in that direction. I know that it can't come soon enough, but Water Street will get done. And so we need to be thinking, what do we do with that blank canvas when it's done?
Yeah.
Because again, we're not going to be sticking a bunch of buildings down there, but it is a useful space. We can make it a useful space, so we got to start thinking in that direction as well.
Well, there's a lot of things, you can do boat launch, you can do walking by the river walk, I mean, there's a lot of things like that we could do.
Yep, and there's, I guess some communities are putting in like berry patches so that, you can go pick blackberries in the middle of the village or whatever, so there's lots of good things that can be done. Sunbathe. Yeah. So, at any rate, I wanted to thank the chamber as well for providing the music.
I thought it was a really pleasant thing, there was a lot of things going on. It would be nice in the summertime if we could have something every weekend going on like they do in Delhi, the square thing. It was pretty good, I
And
thought.
I'm hoping that by doing that on the 23rd, it inspired some people to want to do something down there, so.
And I said this to you, to me, the sad thing about it is, in a way, is so much of the work, the physical work that's actually been done, is unless you canoe or kayak or fish, you can't see it.
Right.
Which will be the nice piece about Water Street, because it'll be right there in front of you.
Yep. So, I think good things are to come, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Okay, item number 3, public input. If there's anyone in the audience that would care to have a few minutes to say what's on your mind, what you're thinking about, please raise your hand.
Just
Yes,
got
sir.
a couple of questions on this contamination problem that we're supposedly having down at the sewer plant. How long has that been going on?
Off and on since around December. With different issues, not that, different issues, yes.
Okay, and how much have we spent on that already?
How much have we spent on it?
Yeah. What's it cost us to do all this testing and who's being paid and what the cost has been?
I would have to check with Cedarwood on that. I mean, we have a budget in there. I have to find out from them.
Okay, are they part of our engineering firm?
Yeah.
Okay, So there-
Oh, I mean, yeah,
they're on
Delaware
retainer,
Engineering, yeah.
So it's not an
Yeah.
additional cost?
No.
Okay.
It might be for some chemicals, but we'll see, you know,
Are we any closer to finding out what
Well,
it is and where potentially something could be coming from?
we knew that one of the issues that we had was with some chlorine coming into the system. That was our first big issue that was killing off all the bacteria.
Right.
And that was a really big problem. And we think that part of that was coming through Kraft. And we sat down with them, and they had engineers come down, and I think that we've rectified that problem. The next thing is just the toxicity, which is the clarity of it. That's all we have left. There's no more. The bacteria is great. Everything else is great. We went to all the establishments in the village, the industrial users, and we checked their sheets. They saw what chemicals they were using. So more than that, we can't do. We've gone in, but we have a couple ideas of it until, I think we're very close to coming to the end of that.
Good, good. Okay,
What's your other question? Oh, that's it.
good. That's it? Yes, for me.
Yeah? Yes?
I do have one question. What is the village's role in choosing the location for the new mental health clinic?
Who is she?
Could you have, what's your name, please, so we have,
Julie Conroe
and where do you live, Julie?
on 7 Fancher Ave.
Okay. The decision, I saw that thing going around, I had my name on it and Charlie Gregory's name. I don't know why it had my name. The county decides on, they have 3 locations so far that they decided on with a possible for the mental health. 2 were in Walton and 1 was in Delhi. The first location they said was at Fancher Avenue.
Which
It's
at
bar-
Village, that's concerning because that's the end of a residential area.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, it's going to be about a block away from where it is now. I mean, really, theoretically, if you look at it, it's by the hospital now, and if you
Only
move,
4 times the size.
well, I don't know how big it is. Well, you know, we have no say as far as what the county makes the rules on that. The one thing that we can do, I've already talked to Steve about it, and I spoke to our attorney about it, is to see if the code allows that type of place to go into that area.
Okay.
And with Steve's interpretation and with our lawyer's interpretation, what I looked at, the way they're writing it out, they can't put it there. They think they can, but I think that they can't. And Steve agrees with me, our attorney agrees with me. So they would have to go before the ZBA, and the ZBA would have to give them a variance. And that would be something that we have the village board has no control over, because the ZBA is on their own. I think that they would have to go before the ZBA if they decide to go there, and the ZBA would have to give them a variance. And if they didn't give them a variance, then they couldn't go there. Now, that's the way I interpret it, that's the way our lawyers interpret it, so I don't know if that's helpful at all, but it's not really, it's the county's decision.
So as a village, we have no say. Is that what you're telling us?
No,
I'm telling you, I have a,
the say that we have is our zoning regulations.
Right.
Okay, and our zoning regulations say that a clinic is not allowed in a residential single-family district.
Okay.
Okay?
So is it just hope and pray they don't push past the zoning?
well, if they go to the ZBA has to have a public hearing. Everybody can come in, and people that are on the ZBA are members of the village.
Okay.
So you're going to have an absolutely say in what goes on. And then it's people, the residents that you know and will live with are going to make that final determination when they look at it.
And in order for any variance to be granted, there are certain criteria that have to be met. And if they don't meet those criteria, hardship and whatever, I don't remember exactly all the criteria, but there are criteria that have to be met by the applicant. They have to prove that not getting the variance is a hardship on them financially, whatever the case may be. So, and they're pretty stringent criteria. So if they don't meet those criteria, the zoning board doesn't grant the variance. If they meet the criteria, then the zoning board can grant the variance. in terms of a use variance, is probably the most difficult and should be the most rarely allowed variance, because it is so stringent. Because technically what you're doing is you're changing the zoning for that area. Okay? And they created that zone for a reason, so it's got to be a really good reason to change it just for that lot.
Steve, if somebody making such an application to the ZBA meets the obligations in their application, is the ZBA obligated to grant the variance, or is it still their decision even if the variance, you know what I mean, if they
Are they obligated? No, I mean, there's still some subjectivity there.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? I mean, not the answer you want, but I mean, but you need, what you need to do, the people that are concerned about it, you need to go to the town meeting, the town and the county. Go to the town board, go to the county meeting, and speak to Charlie Gregory first here in the county, because he's your representative in the county.
Okay.
And make your voice heard that way.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, sir.
Where's the other location proposed?
From what I know, it seems to be, you know, like some secret for somebody, I don't know. I know there's one here, there's one in Delhi, I don't know where in Delhi it is, and the other place is supposed to be behind the Center Ice Cream stand there, Tim Robinson's property down there on Delaware Street. That's two of the three locations that I know of.
As a business person in this community, a member of the Chamber of Commerce in this community, that's the last parcel of land available of any size for commercial use on our commercial strip, which would be a disaster to eliminate that as a potential for future business in this community. Citing the number of businesses that have gone out, Reporter Company is gone, the potential development of Water Street obviously is going to be gone. All of our major national companies have left except for Kraft, and I almost think that, well, McDonald's, I guess we could count that. So I think that that site would be a shame. Now, looking at the other, the mental health clinic is already there. There's also a industrial property right there in that area too. It would be a very poor judgment call, I think, to take, unless Walton doesn't want any future businesses to consider as a place to open a business and create jobs in this community. I mean, there's always been commercial property, the hospital, the mental health clinic has been over in that area for umpteen years.
However, I can tell you, it would be disastrous to put that size and that kind of business at the end of a residential street. If you see the families there, if you talk to the families there, it is small children, it is children riding bikes, they're playing basketball, they're catching frogs at the end of the street. It is a family.
There's also a school.
Listen, excuse me, can I interject for a minute here? This is the meeting, I don't think, first of all, it shouldn't be at the Village Hall.
Okay.
You should go to the county with all your things like that, okay, you understand? I mean, I understand what you're saying, but this is not the area to talk about it. All right, I'm sorry. Anybody else have any other comments or questions? If not, we should move on. But thank you, both of you, for your comments. That's why we call it America. We can all have our individual thoughts.
Everybody has their opinion.
Trustee reports. I think I'm going to start with you. Do you have anything?
Nothing. Just DPW doing a fine job. Matt's doing a fine job, and the guys are doing good work.
Okay, thank you. Dave, you have anything?
Yeah, I've got, just take one and pass them down. Something from the Theater Preservation Association. Remember last month we gave the go-ahead to get the painting started. They had came up with someone who was going to...
You have that in writing? I don't remember.
They have found a painter who, on occasion, I don't have a name, but on occasion, when it's a charitable organization or not-for-profit, he will do all the painting needed to be done when it's a big job, and then be paid so much each year. Because a lot of the charitable organizations can't come up with that kind of cash all in one lump sum. So that's what they're willing to do, and we talked about that last month, and the village is putting in a minimum of $5,000 a year starting June 1st, which is okay all the way around. The painters, the company, only paints. They paint. They don't do carpentry work or the repair work that needs to be done in a building that old. But sometimes you have to do some repair work before you replace a board, there's a rotting windowsill, whatever. And this is a list of, well, some of the things on this list are the things they came up with that need to be repaired prior to the painting. Jim said he had talked to you about this at some point, at least some of this.
He had mentioned, yes.
And the Theater Preservation Association just needs to go ahead from the village. It's not going to cost us any additional money right away to get the repair work done, so that the painters can paint those areas that need to be repaired. It's a carpentry kind of work that they don't do.
But they never include any kind of estimation or enumeration.
That might be on another sheet that I don't have. Jim said the things with the asterisk, there's, what, 3 things with the asterisk, that's sort of a jump ball. That's not, the village may not be that interested in, replacing the floorboards on the porch out here because it gets so little use. The window glass up on the outside the judges' chambers, and side porch floor. Oh, Opry Avenue, okay. But anyway, they just wanted to go ahead to have, get a carpenter to go ahead and get started on some of that work so they can stay ahead of the painters.
Monetarily, what are we talking here?
See, that's the only concern I have too. Steve brought up a very good point. If you give the go-ahead to go do something, and what if it ends up being $50,000? I know I'm being a little bit overboard, but or is it going to be $10,000 or is it going to be $5,000? You shouldn't you can't give a go-ahead on something if you don't know how much it's going to cost, right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
We gave the okay for the $5,000 that we said we would go into next year, but I just don't know how much it's going to be. I'm surprised that they're usually very thorough and give us numbers. I'm surprised that they didn't.
Well, Jim said, as I recollect, they would take the money for this, the carpentry sorts of work out of the initial $5,000, so it wouldn't cost the village any, remember we said a minimum $5,000, it wouldn't cost the village any more. At least the first.
Well, we gave the okay for the 5,000. Now, if they want to use it for this versus the other, then as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. We already gave the okay on that.
Okay.
Right?
At least
You know what I mean?
the first year, he said.
At least the first year. Then, I said 1 year, we go and then we look after it after that.
Well, they were gonna lay out the money.
Yeah, they're gonna lay out the money.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what he meant. This is part of...
So it's okay, I would say okay to get started for the 5,000.
Right.
And I need a motion on that
Second.
then.
I'll make,
I motion.
They already did last time.
Yeah, there wasn't a motion from the last.
Yeah, we already get the motion for that, so we don't have to really,
So
yeah.
we're approving.
We're good,
that they
we're
go
good.
ahead.
We're going. Okay.
5,000, right?
Yeah, with the 5,000.
That was the cap.
Anything else?
that's all I had.
Okay. Steve, do you have anything you want to bring up?
Other than Steve Dutch's report, I wanted to say that we did field inspection today around the entire village, and I can assure everybody at this table and everybody who lives in this community that anything that has to do with code enforcement is being done to the best of its ability. we don't have an easy job with that. Between our derelict properties and our bank-owned properties and our code violators, we've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah. I noticed that. I know it's a tedious job, I know. I drive around every day in the morning before I come to work here, and I see a lot of stuff that's going on. It's tough.
I was amazed.
Yeah.
To hear about it and look at it in a report is one thing, but to be taken firsthand visually is quite...
Well, I think all the board members should do that when you get a chance. Just give yourself an hour and drive down each street slow, going about 25 miles an hour, and just watch and take a look. And you'd be surprised how much you notice when you look. But I think Steve's doing a good job with what he has to work with, that's for sure. Okay. Teresa, do you have anything?
Just that the, excuse me, recreation program is in full swing and things are going well, and thank you to Brian and Matt for that. And also, we would like to thank the Delaware County Youth Bureau. We were awarded $1,600 in grants for our summer program, so we appreciate that. That certainly helps with the expenses. And other than that, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to talk about changing the September meeting now?
Yes, why not?
So when do you want to do the September meeting?
The September meeting is scheduled for the first Monday, which is Labor Day.
I thought we just said that was going to be on Tuesday. No?
Yeah, but that's
Not
really
gonna
not a
work
good
out.
night.
No.
So what's our second choice? We can do it on Wednesday or the next Monday, whichever is best.
Sometimes we wait until the following Monday, don't we? Would the following Monday throw you off a lot on your... Because we've done that before when a holiday comes on Monday, we go to the following Monday, the next week. So, the 12th of September, which is a Monday, the following Monday, would that be all right?
Yeah?
How about everybody here, is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, good for you. All right, so our September meeting will be September 12th, the second Monday of the month. Okay. Okay, on the mayor's report, I have a couple things. One, I have a letter. To whom it may concern, there is a long strip of sidewalk on Route 206 near the New Hope Church and also near the adult mobile home property, which is difficult to walk upon. It consists of stones thrown together and apparently glued together with some type of cement. Other sections of that sidewalk are paved reasonably well. However, these very rough surfaces are not paved. It looks as though it was forgotten about. Could the village look into this matter and have someone see what I fear could be a hazardous for those of us who walk that route? There are at least 3 different areas of that same sidewalk along Route 206. The largest piece is by the New Hope Church. Thank you for everything. Sincerely, Roberta Lacey. What we normally do in the village when it comes to sidewalks like that, we have a program that's called the 50/50, where the homeowner would pay to get the sidewalk dug up, framed out, and then the village would then in turn pay for the cement to have it delivered. However, I believe she's already been notified about this, to Teresa. It's up to this lady to get in touch with the New Hope Church and the owner of the mobile home property, have them agree that they would be looking for a 50/50 program with us, and then we would work with them. So that's how we normally handle it. But I can send her a letter too.
Yeah.
I'll send her a letter besides that. Okay. The second thing I have, dear village board, I have an outside pipe break at my house this past billing cycle, which caused my water sewer bill to be higher than normal. I request that the village excuse my sewer portion of this bill. Thank you for consideration. Yours truly, Edward Snow. My pipe outside where the hose goes, I didn't know it was broken underneath the porch, and I've been dripping water for quite a while time. So, I'm asking to be like everyone else does, same thing, excuse for the sewer portion of the part that doesn't go through the toilet.
That's the policy. Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, since that's the policy for everybody who comes, as long as it doesn't go through the sewer system, so I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. It's about $5,000, not much. No, I think it's like $80, I don't know how much it is. Okay, thank you. I'd also like to say, we have the tree guy is in the village, he's been going around, I know people have been calling me up about him. We've been trying to we're really doing pretty good. Someone had a couple people had brought up about Delaware Street. There's a couple trees on Delaware Street, so I've already mentioned to Matt, and then we'll take a look at it. There might be a couple trees that we might look at down there that are bad, but I think the village overall is doing really, really good. And I need to thank the DPW too. They've been doing an excellent job, and the police, and Steve. So, I mean, I think everyone has been really doing good as teamwork this year, and everyone's very much aware of what's going on, and they're all looking, so I want the public to know that I think we have a really good crew. Everybody's doing well. Okay.
Did you want to mention about the flag that we got donated from Nymer?
Oh, yes, I forgot, I'm sorry. Yes, Nymer gave us, donated a flag to us, a 5x8 flag, something that we have extra, and it was really nice of them, so I want to thank them. Okay. Next thing, number 6, first-time home buyers. Jody, take it away.
Yep, Mary Kilmer sent down 3 requests for the new grant, the $400,000 grant that we got. So there's 3 requests here. We just need permission for the mayor to authorize the mayor to sign these documents so that we can give these people money.
That's nice.
I'll make a motion.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Number 7, 241 Prospect Avenue. Sorry. Have a letter. There was only one person in my household. My husband passed away last July 28, 2009. Elizabeth Schmidt. So there's a sewer rate depending on how many people in the house, and she's getting charged for 2, but there's only one person, so we need to reduce it for only one person.
I just need a motion to go ahead.
Need a motion to do
Get
that.
money back?
No.
She'll give you a charge. It'll come off her next bill.
Wait a minute, I don't understand.
She has
She's
no
well
water
watered.
service.
Oh,
Just totally
just
sewer.
sewer,
Yes.
okay.
Just the sewer.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Number 8, 215, 216 budget amendments.
I sent those out earlier. Did anybody have any questions? That'll be finishing up last year. If not, I just need a motion to go ahead and be able to move those.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, okay. We're just closing up our last year's budgeting. The auditors have been here, and we're doing our audits to get everything all put up. And this is the last minute stuff that we had to do to get the final numbers so we can get everything put together. I think that we're doing well. They had a real lot of questions, right? So we can't improve on last year because last year was perfect. So if we could match it, I'd be really happy. But okay, number 9, WCS football signs. To whom it may concern, the football parent and I are seeking permission to hang up football signage in the village for the 2016 varsity football team. We would be hanging the signs on the weekend of August 13th. We will be taking the signs down when the season comes to an end. We would appreciate your cooperation in this matter, and thank you for your support in previous years. Thank you, Ruth Matthews. We've done this in the past, so.
This is the same kind of sign?
Yeah.
You need a motion?
Yep.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to say aye, but she'll get a letter in response? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'll have to look
So
up
can
the-
you just add the word promptly, that they're promptly taken down? Because sometimes some of those signs linger for months.
Okay, item number 10, The Wayne Bank, I guess everybody's seen this, that the new bank, National Bank, there's gonna be Wayne Bank, and they gave us all 12 pages of stuff and the resolution to accept everything. Have everybody had a chance to look at it? If there's no questions, I'd like to make a motion, have a motion to pass it.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I believe that's it for us. We gotta go, we have to go into executive session. We have two things on personnel issues we have to discuss. So thank you everyone for coming and have a good
What
night.
about this?
Executive session.
So I'll make a motion that we go into executive session?
Yep.
Please.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.